North Durham, Kawartha. The opinions expressed in the following programs are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of Rogers nor Rogers TV.
Welcome to Modern Business, the show that bridges the gap between viewer and entrepreneur. I'm your host, Taylor Bursey, and today we are joined by Rachel Callan. Rachel is a lifestyle photographer servicing all of Ontario. Welcome to the show, Rachel.
Thank you for having me.
I'm very glad you're here. Tell us in your own words, what is Rachel Callan Photography?
Rachel Callan Photography is my passion. I started my business when I graduated high school in 2014 after being in photography class and just realizing that I just really love it, and I just love capturing memories and really freezing moments in time for my clients.
So would you say it was that photography class that really inspired you to make your own business, or how did you decide to make this your career?
Yeah, it was the class in a way, because I just discovered it and realized how much I loved it during high school, and then my friends and family kind of motivated me and helped me kind of pursue the passion over just like a 9-to-5 job or something that I wasn't really entirely in love with.
And when you say pursue the passion, did they pursue you to go to school for photography or just start the business and see what happens?
They kind of just let me kind of figure it out on my own.
Okay.
I decided to just really
lean into
go into it. Yeah, just get into it and not go the school route to begin with. I wanted to kind of test the water and see how it would go for me, and I kind of invested in equipment and my own thing rather than school, because I'm a very hands-on learner and I just like to go out and really just do it.
So when you say you invested and then just kind of started teaching yourself, were you shooting everything and anything that would come in front of your camera, or how did you refine your technique?
I would place model calls for certain things that I wanted to photograph.
Okay.
So I did a lot of pro bono work to start, but I also just fiddled with settings and everything on just inanimate objects at home and all kinds of stuff like that. I really jumped into everything I could because I enjoy so much of it. Even weddings, it's not really normal for photographers to not second shoot or really learn off of another photographer, but I've never done that. I always just kind of jumped right in, and yeah, that just worked for me.
So when you say that you learned to shoot inanimate objects and kind of host these model calls, there are many aspects that go into photography, more so than just pointing and shooting the camera. You've got all your adjustments, the lighting, all the staging. So was that just kind of off of your intuition? Were you consulting other photographers and resources? How did you refine that sort of the side of it?
Yeah, so I learned the basics in high school, obviously, and just kept practicing that. And then anything else that I wanted to learn, I would just research. I mean, YouTube is an awesome place to learn for free and really gain some knowledge off of other photographers, and just trial and error as well. Just taking those lessons from other photographers on YouTube and just doing it and just mastering it.
And so you take the photo, you kind of learn and master that aspect of it. Then you have the back end, the editing and the design portion of it. Did you also experiment with that with trial and error? Do you offer those services? How does that side work?
Yeah, so I edit all of my stuff in Photoshop Lightroom.
Okay.
I also do retouching in Photoshop. Because I'm a lifestyle photographer, I like to keep things as natural as possible. So my main editing tool is Lightroom rather than the Photoshop side. But I did teach myself that as well, and I'm still learning some things in Photoshop, but Lightroom, again, YouTube and articles, just Lightroom itself has a great source if you're looking for something to learn.
And I know that a lot of photographers with Lightroom have standard presets of their kind of aesthetic or something. Do you have something like that you use that you've curated for your brand?
Yeah, I developed my own preset based on just what I really gravitated to, based on other photographers' work as well. I kind of picked a few that I really, really liked to look at mostly.
Okay.
And I kind of leaned towards the moodier side. Not super, super moody, but kind of true to color, but a little bit darker, not so much light and airy, and I developed my own preset to match that style.
Not quite a sepia mood, but
Yeah.
kind of a sepia mood, or
No, I wouldn't call it that, because it is still like very true to color.
okay.
The sepia it's almost like a super brown overtone. So I do have browns and golds in my editing, but I try to keep other colors pretty natural because I want everyone to see the picture as they were hoping for. Like I want the colors to match their outfits and everything like they remember.
Very cool. So naturally, trial and error, intuition to learn and really hone your skills. So you pursue this as a career. You start Rachel Callan Photography. Walk us through what it was like getting your first client and booking your first paid gig. You know, how did you know all the logistics of invoicing, setting your prices, how to get leads? What was that experience like for you?
That was a bit of a tricky experience in the beginning. Again, I like to learn myself. I like to do things independently. So it took a while to kind of really get into the flow of it. But I have family members who also run businesses and they were able to help me with invoicing and stuff like that. So I did learn that on my own fairly quickly. As far as clients go and earning clients, it was a lot of word of mouth. So that did take quite a bit longer. But I was very fortunate to have my high school art teacher recommend me to his daughter for her wedding. So my first wedding was actually for Mr. Schilling's daughter, Emily, which was really nice.
It's a beautiful full circle moment when that teacher in that class inspired you to then become a photographer, and you get to then shoot a very intimate moment, because a wedding, that's a big risk, right? You have a very well-trained but novice at the time photographer have that big opportunity. So walk us through what that was like. Were you nervous that day? Were you researching, or did you just kind of go with the flow and see what happens?
I was pretty nervous, but the Schilling family is very, very kind, so they obviously made me feel super comfortable. But there was a lot of research. There was some new equipment purchased, and I just tried to calm myself down for the most part,
Right.
and really just kind of go with the flow of the day.
So was it after shooting that wedding, you know, editing the photos, handing the delivered product, you took a deep breath and went, okay, I can do this. I can start booking weddings and then seek out more weddings?
Yeah, from there I kind of just jumped into it even further, and I did seek out more weddings, and I got more clients through word of mouth. I think my second wedding was recommended by one of my friends from high school, so I was very fortunate to have people kind of help me out that way.
And then it just kind of snowballs from there.
Yeah.
So the wedding is, I'm assuming, your first big paid photography gig. Did you dabble in any other types of shoots before niching into lifestyle, or did you always go into this photography business with the mindset that you were going to be a lifestyle photographer?
I did kind of practice a few other things. My uncle owns a martial arts club, so I did a little bit of sports photography and things like that. But I would also consider that lifestyle in a way, because I was just photographing the students as they were just in class. So it is very natural, very candid, and I've always just really gone down the road of I want to photograph people naturally and candidly. So.
And have you done any kind of in-studio work where you've put people in front of a screen and kind of shot them as well in a more controlled environment?
A little bit. I've done kind of like headshots that are just with a plain background, you know, client looking at the camera, just if that's what they want. I have done that before, but it's definitely not what I prefer to do. As far as studio work goes, I actually do a lot of lifestyle photography in studio as well. They're great for families with young children if you don't want to go out in the snow, and it's just a controlled environment as far as temperature and everything goes, so it's much easier on the families.
That too would be difficult in the sense that not only are you a photographer, but you're also kind of a wrangler of people, and you have to make sure that they're being casual in the lifestyle environment while also working for the camera. Did you kind of take any psychology courses or do any kind of interpersonal work to figure out how to get people to do what you wanted, or?
I really didn't. I've been told by so many of my clients that I make them feel comfortable, which is so funny to me because I have anxiety. So almost every session I go in anxious.
Right.
So, and I'm not comfortable. So when they tell me that I made them feel so comfortable, I think it's so funny. So.
Well, that is great. And I have had the privilege of doing a couple of photo shoots with you. And one of my most memorable photo shoot moments with you was we were in a wedding and there was a lot of people there and you wanted everyone to do this certain shot. And it was starting to rain and everyone was getting frantic. And I whispered to you, what do you want? You told me exactly what you wanted. I said, all right, let's do this. Let's go.
It's always nice to have a wrangler.
Exactly. So you're delegating the wrangling, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it's definitely awesome to see your career grow and have that snowballing effect, if you will. So you work the wedding, you pick up some other jobs. I'm assuming you start to establish a portfolio of work, and then you kind of look at it and maybe want to establish your business. So was it after you booked a couple of gigs that you made a website and started marketing, or how was that trajectory for you?
I made a website pretty much straight out of high school. It wasn't the best website, but I took what I had and I just threw it up there. And it got more traffic as I built it and as I gained more clients and I had more photos to show. So yeah, I've just been working on it, making it, improving it since I started it in 2014.
So you've kept the same site, just made enhancements to it as you go?
Yeah.
Did it ever cross your mind that, oh, maybe I should hire somebody to do this, or are you a can-doer and will do as much as you can?
At the moment, I like to do as much as I can. I like to be able to go on and edit it quickly myself, but I am definitely looking to source someone to actually make me a more professional website in the future. The one I have right now is great. It's through a photographer's website, so it's geared towards photography portfolios, so it works great in the meantime, but I would definitely like something more personalized to myself one day.
And we are getting ready to come up to a break, but before we go to the break, because after we're going to talk all about the website, the generation of the business, but just because we're in the moment of talking about where you started, looking at it now, is there anything that you would do differently in the inception?
I think I would probably compare myself to others less, try to focus on what's working for me more, because I did a lot of comparisons when I was younger and it doesn't really get you anywhere by doing that. So.
And now that you've blazed your own path, you almost look back and go, I wish I didn't think so poorly of myself or put too much pressure on myself here.
Yeah.
That is awesome and a great revelation, because I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, when we come back, we will be talking about Rachel's journey in marketing, building her business, and what she's going to be doing in the future. So make sure you stay right here with us on Rogers TV.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Hi, I'm Angel Morgan, host of Raising Energy on Rogers TV. Join us each week as we are back in the studio doing live psychic readings. I work with guides, guardians, angels, archangels. I'm a free-for-all. I even bring through animals and messages from loved ones to bring you closure. Check out rogerstv.com/raising energy for our listings and airtimes and for your free tickets.
Hi, I'm Sean Lackey, and this is Sold with Sean Lackey. You should check us out if you want to find out what's going on in the world of real estate. We'll have all sorts of guests to keep you in the loop on what's going on in this wonderful world.
Knights of Columbus TV Bingo every Tuesday at 7 p.m. right here on Rogers TV with a guaranteed $5,000 grand prize jackpot on the full card winner. Every week, 7 p.m. Tuesdays, right here on Rogers TV.
That he fell.
Whoa, I'm not driving. I'm way too stoned. How are you feeling, Beer?
Oh, since we had that talk, I'm not driving tonight at all.
What about you, Dave?
You only had a couple of drinks.
And only a couple of puffs.
I don't drink and drive. No way I'm getting behind the wheel when I smoked weed, too.
How are we getting home, then?
Oh, you can drive, Dave.
Come on, Dave.
Take one for the team, buddy.
Don't let weed and alcohol influence your decision to drive.
Yeah, I need a ride.
You're watching Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Modern Business, the show that bridges the gap between viewer and entrepreneur. I'm your host, Taylor Bursey, and today we are joined by Rachel Callan of Rachel Callan Photography. Welcome back, Rachel.
Thank you.
So before the break, we kind of talked about the inception of your business, how you learned through trial and error, how you built your website at the beginning, not really fully knowing what you were doing, but being determined to be successful. So now that you're at a point where you have a consistent kind of stream of leads and you're building your business, can you talk a little bit about what you did to market yourself to make that happen for you?
I started a program where if someone refers me, I give them a little bit of a discount on their next session, and the person that's referred also gets a bit of a discount. So word of mouth really helped with that, as well as just being up to date with social media, like not necessarily posting every day, but really just posting on Instagram and using those hashtags. That's a big one for me. I generate a lot of leads from Instagram hashtags. Yeah.
Still?
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. And I know you've also done some promotions on your own Instagram where you know, what did you dress up as for Halloween? If you have the best costume, I'll give you a photo shoot and stuff like that. Was that also strategic in building that lead generation funnel for you?
Yeah, the giveaways, they help because maybe someone who didn't know about you before is learning about you through someone sharing in their stories, something like that. But giveaways I mostly do just to give back to my clients. I like to really do something for them every once in a while because I don't actually get as many clients from a giveaway because a lot of people are really just looking for something for free, right? Yeah.
Fair enough. But I would say it's also kind of brand awareness for you, if you will.
Yeah.
So would you say that your marketing is a fine line between kind of digital marketing for that awareness and word of mouth together? You know, people see you, talk about you, make it happen?
Yeah, I think so. The two of them combined really, that's probably the main way that I generate leads.
And is it mostly referral-based leads that are the primary driver, or is it kind of split down the middle, social people coming versus word of mouth referrals?
Yeah, I would say it's split down the middle as far as that goes.
And I am aware that you have some kind of unique marketing features to build your business, build awareness, and I would say kind of work with the local awareness that you have. As somebody who was raised in the North Durham area, you know, went to school in Port Perry, you do have that brand awareness here as well. So I have seen you've done a lot of mini sessions where you've partnered up with other local businesses that have maybe aesthetic areas for them to take photos with. Talk to us a little bit about the brainchild behind that.
Yeah, I like really working with local businesses and just working together to come up with a unique experience for the clients. So one local business that I really enjoy working with is Ursula from the Sunflower Farm. I'm one of her preferred photographers.
Amazing.
There. Yeah, so I rent the field off of her in the summertime, and clients can come and get pictures in the sunflower fields, and it's a really unique experience for them because it's not every day you see a giant sunflower field.
And how does that work? So they book a time with you. It's what, 20 minutes? You take as many photos as you can in that 20 minutes and then you go home, or?
Yeah, so they book the experience with me and it's about 15 to 20 minutes of photos. They normally get about, depending on the length of the session, it's a minimum of 10 to 15 images that they'll get back digitally. And if they want to order more, they can order some prints or anything else that I offer, but they get the digitals with that price.
And I know that you are a lifestyle photographer, and doing these mini sessions, people are out in the wild doing lifestyle-like things. But have you ever had a mini session where somebody has not been satisfied with their performance in taking the photos, and have you extended, or how does that work too, right? With such a short time frame.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, they come in nervous. A lot of people have never actually done professional photos. But I think the fact that I make it more of a experience, less posed and more do this, hold hands, walk, look at each other. I think that makes people feel a lot more comfortable, and by the end of it, they're really loosening up and having fun. So they end up really liking the photos.
And you're just clicking as quick as you can to make sure that you get everything?
Yeah.
And how does the pricing structure for your business work? Because you are a trial and error, self-made photographer. I'm assuming you don't have, you know, a rate card that you got from somebody that you can compare to. So how did you set your prices when you first started versus now?
When I first started, I kind of looked up the average pricing of sessions. I did look at other photographers' websites just to see what's this person charging, like what are they charging? And I did kind of undercharge myself a little bit in the beginning, but I didn't have the experience. So it was nice to kind of just put myself out there and gain some clients
that way
before upping my pricing.
And now you kind of have gotten to a point where you're comfortable with your pricing. Do you find it difficult to set that rate and keep that value? Or is it something now that you feel, okay, I've worked, I've earned this, this is my rate, this is what it's going to be?
It's kind of a bit of both. I always feel bad upping my rates. I think a lot of photographers go through this, like, should I, shouldn't I? But it comes down to, this is your job, like this is your career, and you need to be able to make it fair for yourself and make sure that you can put food on the table. So,
well, and I do think, especially with photography, even taking the mini sessions, for example, that's 15 minutes of somebody being in front of the camera, but I'm assuming that's a couple hours of editing,
yeah.
right? So that all has to be factored in as well. So when you're building your pricing, and you don't have to disclose your numbers by any means, but are you kind of setting a dollar amount per hour that you think it's going to take to edit and then building in a custom package for yourself, or how does that work?
Yeah, so I always take into account, like, how long am I going to be editing this session, how much time am I spending after, because it's a lot of people look at it as, oh, it's only 15 minutes, but they don't see the amount of work that goes into it. And it's not just that, it's the correspondence beforehand, it's the prepping. So definitely pricing yourself fairly is important, and just making sure that you're making enough for the time that you're putting into it.
Absolutely. And you also have an ambassador program. Talk to us a little bit about why you started that and what you're hoping to accomplish with it.
So the ambassador program is for a lot of local businesses, small businesses, people who are looking to really up their social media presence, maybe with some professional photographs. It's just me giving back to small businesses, because I know what it's like to run your own business and need stuff like that. And I know that it's difficult for some people, so I like to offer a free service for unique brands. I can add the photos to my portfolio, and then they have photos that they can use on social media and their website.
And obviously, this being a free session, it's capped each year, right? You let in a certain number of participants. I know that a lot of other arts-based businesses do the same thing. They might have a jury panel where they kind of pick and choose who gets it, so it's fair. So how does somebody apply for your ambassador program to be considered?
I have a link on my website with an application form, and I generally take 5 businesses per year, and it's normally during my downtime, so that I have the time to do it and concentrate on it. And they can apply, just through my website online, and they'll just let me know what they do, and I'll just decide based on who's unique and who haven't I worked with yet.
And what do they get out of this branding feature package? Is it kind of what your standard brand package would be?
Yeah, so it's normally about probably 2 hours with me, depending on the brand and what's needed. For, say, if someone just needs some headshots, like if they're a realtor and they're maybe just doing like a lifestyle session in a home, that might only take an hour. But if someone has products that they want photographed, like a small retail business, it might take a bit longer to get some of that stuff in.
So you're open to doing both, not necessarily just photographing the person and the branding. You're also willing to do the items and the merch that they're selling as well?
Yeah, I do some lifestyle versions of product photography.
Okay.
So if it's a backpack, maybe the backpack's hung over someone's shoulder, like that kind of thing, rather than just the item on a blank backdrop.
And you also offer print services if I'm not mistaken, you have a printing operation. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I do have a professional printer set up at home. We recently moved, so I'm still kind of working on setting up my studio space, but I can print photos. I have all the paper and everything required to do that. So if someone wants high quality prints, I can do that, and then they're ensuring that the colors are going to come out the same as how I edited them because I'm doing it right from home.
And how does the shipping process with that work? Do you have to package them up special because they're photos? How does that work?
Yeah, so I would package them up, make sure that there's maybe some cardboard there so that it doesn't get bent in the mail. But if I can, I like to deliver. If the clients are maybe here in Durham, I'm coming home to see my mom, I can drop everything off so that it's not getting crushed in the mail.
That's probably a very good thing. I'm sure you have some kind of insurance for your mail as well, but definitely making sure it gets there in one piece is ideal. I think it's also lovely that you do home delivery. I'm sure a lot of clients appreciate that nice, unique touch. Now, you mentioned earlier home studio. As a lifestyle photographer, are you bringing people into your home studio to take pictures of them, or are you really just out in the wild per se?
I'm mostly out in the wild. As far as photographing people in studio, I like to rent larger studios that maybe have a bed and a couch, things that can be used for family sessions or boudoir sessions.
Okay.
My studio space is mostly just a blank backdrop for if I want to do anything creative, maybe some self-portraits, photos of my dog, and then it's a space for my computer where I edit.
Okay, very cool. Well, it sounds like you have a lucky dog who gets lots of photos taken.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about what the future of Rachel Callan Photography looks like.
It's very similar to how it is now.
Okay.
Hopefully just more clients and more sessions. I'm pretty happy with the way things are going at the moment, and I just want to really expand and meet more clients.
That's wonderful. Now, do you have a trade tip for our audience today? A piece of advice that somebody has given you, a piece of advice you like to give others, or just a general tidbit of information you want to share?
My trade tip would probably be to, again, not compare yourself to others too much. It's good to be inspired by other photographers, but I think ultimately doing what works best for you and where you are in life at this moment is the best thing you can do for your business.
Amazing. Now, if people want to find you, where do they go?
They can find me at www.rachelcallan.com.
Okay.
Or I'm Photographs by Rach on Instagram.
And have you thought about exploring any of the other social media platforms? I see a lot of photographers on things like TikTok and Facebook. And are you going to dabble into that as well?
I have a little bit, but I actually removed TikTok from my phone.
Good for you.
Because it's just too addicting sometimes. You just scroll for hours. So I generally use Reels on Instagram, similar, and then everything's in one spot. And I do have a Facebook business page as well.
Perfect. Same thing, photos by
Rachel Callan Photography.
Okay, yeah. So Rachel Callan Photography. And when it comes to Instagram, are you keeping that as your primary social media platform because of the hashtag success?
Yeah, I think so. That and my website is definitely generating more leads, but Instagram hashtags they've really been working for me, so.
That blows my mind in the best way possible for you, and I wish you continued success with that. Rachel, thank you so much for being on the show today. That has been another edition of Modern Business. I'm your host, Taylor Bursey, and we'll talk to you next time.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
The One TV free preview is back, and viewers are loving it.